All right, good morning to all of you. It's already 1, so it's good afternoon. I hope I am clearly audible to you guys and you can see the slide clearly. So we are ready to begin with our Tier 2 live test. All right. So let me know once if my voice is clearly audible and if you can see the slides properly so that we can start the session. Okay. I think this will be a better view. So we'll continue with this. Let's get started. You can see what I have written on the screen just to verify. So it is visible, right? All right, good enough. So let's begin. Consider the following statements regarding GDP per capita. So last session also, when there was the live test, we got a question from GDP. So I hope all of you have by-hearted the formula from that session. GDP per capita represents the average economic output per person in a country and is calculated by dividing gross domestic product by the find out just households that will be there, then what investment, then plus whatever export we have done minus whatever imports we have done. Now, if you have the GDP and then if you have the total population of a country and if you divide that, then that will give you the average of ideally what is per person or per capita, say, for example, the output. But that is not the correct assessment of GDP per capita income disparities within a country, because as you may be knowing that majority of the resources, 80 to 90%, are concentrated with say 10 to 20% of the population, right? So statement 2 is not correct here. What do you use for income disparities? A better say idea of income disparities can be gained from the Gini coefficient, which ranges from 0 to 1. If somebody has say 0, that means it is perfect equality, and 100% if it is there, then it is your total inequality. So A only is correct because statement 2 is not correct. It does not give the income disparities within a country. All right. What is there for income disparities? There is the Gini coefficient. All right. Coming to the next one. Let me put the next here. I'll just hold the phone on my hand. It's easy to see like this. All right. The next question is, why did the 86th Constitutional Amendment 2022 add a new feature? So there was a new fundamental duty that was added. See, fundamental duty itself was added to the Constitution by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. Okay. And the latest one, there are 11 fundamental duties. The latest one was added by the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act, because initially there were 10 fundamental duties, 11th is added in 2002. And this one is, what is it? To introduce compulsory military service for children, to ensure parental responsibility towards children's education. So it is to ensure parental responsibility towards children's education. See, fundamental right is there in Article 21A, which is your right to education. But how will a 6 to 14 years child go for the school, go for the education? Only if the parents are sending them. So it is the parents' duty to send their child to the school or for the education, and it is the child's fundamental duty, that is the right to education, and parents fundamental for the child it is fundamental right, and for the parents it is fundamental duty. All right, coming to the next question. Consider the following statement regarding Tughlaq dynasty. The Tughlaq dynasty was founded by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the famous king who was also known as the wiseful king, but he was not the founder. If you see SKTSL, slave dynasty, Khilji, Tughlaq. Then who is the founder of the Tughlaq dynasty? Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq is the founder of the Tughlaq dynasty. Statement 1 is wrong. The dynasty declined due to weak successor, administrative failures, and C. Behlol Lodi. After the Tughlaq dynasty, there is a complete Sayyid dynasty. And after this Sayyid dynasty, there is the Lodi dynasty, for which your Behlul Lodi was the founder. So there is a complete Sayyid dynasty missing in between. So it is not possible after this directly this one. So 2 is not correct here. So what is the correct answer to this question? Say 1 and 2 both are wrong. 1 and 2 both are wrong. Next question. Which of the following is not a direct tax? Income tax directly, it is a direct tax, right? Then capital gain tax. What about capital gain tax? It will be given by whoever is the owner. Corporate tax will be given by the corporate house, and sales tax, whoever is selling, say the shop will file it, but do you think the shop gives it? No. The shop is selling to the customer, and this person who buys the product, he is the person who is bearing the sales tax, right? So it is direct tax or it is indirect tax? Sales tax is indirect tax. So this one is indirect tax. So what is the correct answer? Sales tax is not a direct tax. It is an indirect tax. Consider the following statement regarding laterite soil. All right, laterite soil is generally high in nutrients like nitrogen, potassium. See, laterite soil means, say, in the rain region, or in, say, Kerala region also you will find it. So because of this rains, no, this essential nutrients, etc., will it remain there or will it be washed off? So it is not high in nutrients like nitrogen, potassium. Laterite soil becomes hard and brick-like when exposed to air due to oxidation. See, when water is there, it will have a different, say, structure. And when it is completely dry, then in that case, it will be, say, brick-like. Okay. And you can see it will be hard. It is difficult for, say, doing the normal cultivation, etc. So that will be there. Then laterite soil contains least amount of iron, aluminium oxide, giving it the reddish color. The reddish color of laterite soil is because of the iron. That is the reason why it has the say reddish color. It is an ore of bauxite as well. So that is why least amount is not correct. So we have A and C are not correct, but B is correct here. So that will lead us to B option, that is B only. All right. Next question. Article 361 of the Indian Constitution provides immunity to which of the following? So Article 361 provides immunity to judges of the Supreme Court from criminal proceeding. No article is there like that. Members of the parliament for speeches in parliament does not make sense. Government and the president and the governors for criminal procedure during their term. Now, so that during their term they are able to do their work properly. So that is why there is the Article 361. It starts from miscellaneous, starts from Article 361, and the first one itself is the, say, privilege, or you can say it is the Article 361, because of which some high office posts, no, so that they can do their functions without any interference, etc. So these provisions are there. All right. Then Election Commission for Judicial Review, say some electoral, some forms are there where court will not do immediate intervention. So that is there in articles, but say the A and B will not make any sense. And here number 1, Article 361 itself is for this immunity. All right. So C is the correct answer. Next question. approved by the Central Drug Standard Control Organization in January 2025. We have to say about this which of the statement is correct here. Okay. A vaccine developed for prevention of blood cancers in children, a gene editing drug approved for treating leukemia, a CAR T cell based cellular therapy approved for adult B cell. So it is like from the human's own body itself, some T cells can be used to fight the cancer cells. And this is India's first, say, internationally licensed for the same. So that is why C is the correct answer, and it is an important current affairs for that matter. Because if something is India's first and internationally licensed in this field, then it is important. Consider the following statements regarding tribal population distribution in India as per the Census 2021. Lakshadweep has the highest proportion of scheduled tribe population among all states and union territories. Now there can be two questions. One is which has the highest scheduled tribe. Then Madhya Pradesh is your answer for the highest scheduled tribe. And another is scheduled tribe population among all states and union territories. They are saying in terms of, say, both included. Okay. The decadal growth of the scheduled tribe in urban areas are higher than that in the, say, rural areas. So which of the following statement is correct here? Both the statements are correct here. But please remember, if you don't find the option of Lakshadweep, if they are giving you the mainland say options, then in that case you have to select in Madhya Pradesh with the highest scheduled tribe population. Coming to the next question. Consider the following literary works: Abhijjan Sakuntalam, Meghdutt, Mritshakatika, and Raghuvamsha. Which of these was not written by Kalidas? So Kalidas has written Abhijjan Sakuntalam, Meghdutt, and Raghuvamsha. All are very important literary work which you study in the static history itself. So which one is not there? Mritshakatika. Mritshakatika written by Shudraka. Okay. So answer is what? 3. That is B, 3 only. Coming to the next question. Which of the following best describes revenue receipt of government? Receipts that lead to creation of public assets. No creation, nothing. Just the fixed whatever is coming from revenue, recurring income that neither create liabilities nor reduce government assets. So this is the correct answer. We'll still look at the others. Receipts that are non-recurring and create liabilities. Receipts obtained mainly through borrowing and disinvestment. So what happens in case of revenue receipts? There can be tax revenue and non-tax revenue. Whatever you can imagine in the tax revenue, be it your GST, be it your income tax, okay, whatever you can imagine, it is there in the tax revenue which goes to the government. Okay. Then in the non-tax revenue, there can be the dividends, there can be the interest, the fines that goes to the government, right? So all these things are in the non-tax revenue, and these are like the not fluctuating, neither create liabilities or nor reduce government assets. They are recurring source of earnings which keep on coming. Why are microwaves able to pass through clouds, fog, rain with minimal scattering? Why microwaves are able to pass? Because microwaves have higher energy than visible light. Now, entire light spectrum, microwaves is in between, right? They're not in any one end. Because microwaves have shorter wavelengths than invisible light, because microwaves have longer wavelengths, reducing interaction with atmospheric particles, because microwaves travel faster than other electromagnetic wave. So which is the best answer? Because microwaves have longer wavelengths, reducing interaction and atmospheric particles. Coming to the next one. Article 208 of the Constitution empowers the Rajya Sabha to make rules regarding its procedures. All right. Rules framed under Article 208 regulates debates, questions, motion, voting, discipline. So this thing is not there. Is it there or not? It is not there. So we have only one is correct. Which of the following team won 42nd Indian Oil Servo Surjit Hockey Trophy held at the Olympian Surjit? So, which team has won it in November 2025? Owned by Indian Oil Mumbai. Oil India Servo Surjit Hockey Trophy owned by Indian Oil Mumbai. Fact-based question. If you know, you know. Which union territory will be included under Article 340 of the Constitution through the 131st Amendment Bill 2000 and what is? Please try to give the answers in the chat box also. See, this is very, very important. Very important question. It is going to keep on coming in your exams for a very long time. All right. So it is your option number C, that is Chandigarh. This is one of the most important question from say this series that is going to be repeated for coming years in different examinations. Consider the following statements regarding ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid is classified as a weak acid, yes, because it does not completely dissociate its aqueous solution. Ethanoic acid does not react with carbonates and bicarbonates, but ethanoic acid will react with carbonates and bicarbonates. So this one is not true. Ethanoic acid is widely used as a food preservative due to antibacterial properties. Again, this is also correct. So 1 and 3 are correct. Therefore, B is the correct answer here. Consider the following statements regarding PM Shri Pradhan Mantri's Schools for Rising India. PM Shri is a centrally sponsored scheme, yes. Aimed at upgrading government schools across India, yes. PM Shri scheme is designed in accordance with the vision of the National Education Policy 2025. All right, let us see. PM Shri schools promote green practices such as water conservation, energy efficiency, waste management, etc. So this statement is also correct. So this leaves us with 1 and 3 as the correct answer. Coming to the next question. Hullabaloo is a guava orchard. In the Guava Orchard 1998 by Kiran Desai was inspired by the life of which of the following? A social reformer for Bengal who lived in isolation, a tribal leader who resisted colonial rule in central India, a monk who renounced worldly life in Himalayas, a monk who sold his Ferrari by Robin Sharma, it looks like. An Indian man from Orissa who lived in a tree for several years. So the answer here is an Indian man from Orissa who lived in a tree for several years. Consider the following statements regarding parenchyma tissues. So which of the following is true about parenchyma tissue? They want to know. Parenchyma tissues contains large intercellular spaces between them. So do they contain large intercellular spaces between them? No. Parenchyma tissue stores food materials, true, such as starch, protein, and water. Parenchyma cells plays an important role in wound healing and tissue regeneration. True or false? True. So if we know that 2 and 3 are, but still we will be left with these options. So here B is the correct answer because 1 is not correct. Parenchyma tissues contain large intercellular space between the cells. 1 is not correct here. Next question. In the Vijayanagar Empire, the Iyengar system primarily referred to a system of village servants receiving land grants or income for specific services. Yes, the land grants were being given by different names in different places, in different, say, even in kingdoms and even later on also. So that is why these words are important in their whatever name for that particular dynasty it is. Okay. Military administrative system assigned land to warriors in return of service. Judicial system managed by temple authorities at the village level. Revenue assessment method based on land fertility and crop type. So here A is the correct answer. Land grant which was given for, say, a system of village servants receiving land grant or income for specific services, whatever services they had delivered. Who among the following is known as the father of Indian ecology for establishing ecology as a scientific discipline in India? So who is known? Ramdev Mishra. M.S. Swaminathan is the father of what? Green Revolution in India. And then you have Salim Ali, birth century is also there. So like that also you can remember, you can eliminate the option and that will also give you Ramdev Mishra. Select the option that is true regarding the following two statements labeled assertion and reason. Gully erosion makes nutrient-rich topsoil, increasing agricultural productivity. Gully erosion, see, any kind of erosion for that matter, will not make the topsoil. In fact, it will break the topsoil, it will remove the topsoil. That is the feature of erosion, right? So A is not true. Topsoil contains organic matter essential for crops. If the leaves will fall down here on the ground, then there it will, say, form a layer of organic material and on top of the rest of the things. It will also form humus, etc. based on the climate. So B is true, but A is false. A is false, but R is true. So C is the correct answer here. The Swaraj Party was formed after the withdrawal of which of the following movement? Civil disobedience movement, non-cooperation movement, Quit India movement, or Home Rule movement. So after the withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement, the Swaraj Party was formed. If you study history 1920, then by the time 1922, 2 years movements, the pace decreases anyhow. But after that, what to do now? So now one wing will go for, okay, by the constitution, or at that time you can say by the say whatever sort of seeking of government is possible, making parties in that way. So that is why making the Swaraj party. And another form was anyhow they are not listening to us, so why not, start the revolution now, right? And then there will be Bhagat Singh, and we study 1924 Hindustan Republican Organization, and 1928 Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. So here HRA, Hindustan Republican Association, here HSRA. So that was the two branching after withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement. Consider the following statements regarding Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. You all must have heard about Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. There are different outlets also where you get the medicines at a subsidized rate. It is a flagship government scheme aimed at providing quality generic medicines at affordable prices. Is this correct? This is correct. This is the main intention. Medicines under Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana are sold through special outlets called PM Modi Kendras. Okay. Special outlets, yes, but are they called PM Modi Kendras? Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana, Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana supports domestic pharmaceutical manufacturing and aligns with the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So this statement is also correct. So 1 and 3 are correct here and 2 is not correct. Match list 1 and list 2 and choose correct answer using the codes given below. All right. Porifera, Cnidaria, Annelida, and Arthropoda. We have to match them. So what do we know about them? Presence of joint, legs or appendages. This is there in which one? This is there in the Arthropoda, have joint legs. The first, say, identifying feature itself is joint legs. So here B and C has joint legs. Let's see what does D have. Okay, all the three have joint legs. So we have to see what's next. Okay. Porifera, presence of joint appendices is done. Body with pores and canals. So porifera, the first that we study, porifera, we study sponges. We study that they have the pores and the water system will be able to go through, and like this, their water canal, the water system can flow like this and they can absorb the nutrients, etc. So they have the canal system and they have the body pores. So A is going to go with 2. Now we have either B or D. Right? Now let us see for Cnidaria and Annelida. Now if you look for Annelida, then here segmented body starts with a true column, right? We study Platyhelminthes or Platyhelminthes flatworm. Then we study roundworm. Then we study earthworm, from where the segmented body starts. And after that, when we study Annelida, then there is the true coelom, right? So C will go with 3, and that leads us to B as the correct answer. And for Cnidaria, this Cnidaria itself, it means that they will have some stinging cell, because of which it can give rise to allergies, etc. For example, jellyfish. All this we study in the 5 kingdom classification. Next question. Which of the following river forms an inland delta in India? So, is it Ganga? Is it Mahanadi, Narmada, or Luni? So, Luni river forms an inland delta in India. And Brahmaputra river forms the largest river island and the smallest river island both in India. All right. So let us come to the next question. So now computer starts from here. So those were the GS question in this particular series.